Here in my home studio, just bought this Aristides 070. It's pretty great for shredding up here in the Hollywood Hills. But you know what I like a lot more than materialistic things? Hot 7-string guitar licks. Hello children, and welcome to a new installment of Weekend Wankshop. Here's your good pal, Ben Eller, guaranteed to be the best weekly lick lesson series that you will watch on my YouTube channel this week. What I'm holding here in my arm hands today is an Aristides 070, proudly made in the Netherlands of all kinds of space-age crazy materials. It's all one piece, it's got Seymour Duncan pickups in it, Hipshot hardware, and I'll tell you, it is one of the damn most fantastic guitars I've ever played in my life. So in order to put this fantastic beast to work, I decided to come up with an original 7-string guitar lick in the extremely rare key of C minor, so that you too might use your 7-string guitar to scare up some chicks in your neighborhood tonight. But before we commence this shred-eye night ritual of initiation, let's hear that lick again, at stepdad speed. And as always, kids, you can find a full super tab for this week's lick on my Instagram page. Go to your Instagram account, search for BenEllerGuitars, and you shall find me. Learn this week's lick, upload a video of yourself shredding through it, and upload it for all the world to see. This week's lick is based around the good old C minor scale, which is the notes C, D, E flat, F, G, A flat, B flat, and C. And while it's covering a whole ton of territory and range on the fretboard of the guitar, don't let it fool you. It's all based around an extremely simple idea and fretboard pattern, so easy that even a recovering homeschooler like myself can handle it. Now I've got this sexy rig here in standard tuning, so I've got a low B on the bottom, so you'll need to keep that in mind if you're playing along with this lick. So here's the basic idea behind this. Again, it's really, really simple, but you've heard guys like Paul Gilbert and John Petrucci use ideas like this to score chicks all over the world, so you can too. Here's basically all that you need to know to play this lick. It's this really simple pattern right here. Okay, it's a really simple group of notes to play right here. So here's what I'm playing. Starting off on the low B string here on fret number 1, and what I'm doing here is I'm playing 1, 3, and 4, which is C, D, and E flat. Now on the next string here, on the E string, I'm going to play the exact same set of frets, 1, 3, and 4. So that's F, G, and A flat. And then the next little group, what I'm going to do is, do you see these top two notes, the ones I'm playing with my 3rd and 4th fingers? Well, move your whole fret hand up so that instead of these two fingers being on those notes, frets 3 and 4, G and A flat, fret those two notes with your first two fingers instead. So again, I'm not playing a new set of notes. It's the same notes you just played. I'm just using some different fingers so that I can get into this position, which is 3, 4, and 6, G, A flat, B flat. So that's the whole pattern right there. We got 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4 on the next string. And then we just scooch up, take these two guys' notes place, and we're going to play 3, 4, 6. But if I was you, I wouldn't so much memorize this as 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, because obviously we're moving across the board here. I would look at it more as a fretboard pattern or even a finger pattern across the board if you want to look at it that way, fingering-wise. Also, it's 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, and then you scoot up a step and play 1, 2, 4, fingering-wise. That might help you see this pattern better on the other strings. Now here's what's really cool about that group of notes that I just showed you there. After you play that through and do the little position shift up, well, right under your pointer finger now, in other words on the next string down, we've got this 3rd fret A string, right? Check it out. That's the exact same note as what we began the lick on. We just jumped an octave up. So when I land on this 3rd fret A string, it's the exact same thing as what it began on. So basically that entire pattern that we've worked out, this guy, I can start it over right underneath me now. Check it out. That was the exact same fingerings, 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, scooched up to 1, 2, 4, and it was even all the same notes. It was just in the next octave. So again, by doing this little position shift like this, it allows us to climb up an octave musically and still maintain the exact same fretboard pattern. Really handy stuff. So here's how I'm putting this lick together based on that little pattern that we just learned a second ago. I'm thinking in 4 beat phrases for each little chunk of this lick here. And the first chunk goes like this. I'm playing 1, 3, 4 on the low B. I'm playing 1, 3, 4 on the E. I got our little position shift, and I play 3, 4, 6 on the E. And then this is where that octave kind of starts over, right? I'm going to play 3, 5, 6 on the A string. So our first chunk is to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Now at this point, all that I'm doing here is playing the exact same stuff, just starting from this octave instead. So even though you just played 3, 5, 6, that's exactly what we're going to play on the next little group too. 3, 5, 6, D string, 3, 5, 6, D string, 5, 6, 8, and then again, look, another octave. G string, 5, 7, 8. So again, that was the exact same lick, just in this octave. Now from here, I'm going to play the exact same thing, starting from this C, the 5th fret on the G string. Now here's where it's going to get a little different though. The pattern is going to look and feel like it's changing because of the funky tuning of our guitar, the way that the B string is tuned a third away from the G string, unlike our other strings which are fourths. The guitar is a really stupid instrument. It's tuned very strange. So we're going to have to make a little modification here. We're not just going to play 5, 7, 8, 5, 7, 8. That wouldn't be the right notes. You've got to play 5, 7, 8, and then scooch up a fret. 6, 8, 9. So again, what we played there is the exact same thing as this, or this. It just feels a little different because of that tuning. So 5, 7, 8, 6, 8, 9, and then you're going to do that position shift. 8, 9, 11. And then look, oh, there's that octave again right under us, just like it happened every other time. So there's a C note. And here, what I'm going to do to finish out this whole thing is I'm going to play 8, 10, 11. And then I'm just ending on that 8th fret high E string. So that way I'm ending on a C note, the root note of maybe a C minor chord that you could be playing this against. So again, look at it as the same lick, but just appearing in a couple of different octaves. So here's your first octave, starting from low B. Second octave starting from 3rd fret A. Third octave starting from my 5th fret G. And our 4th octave, which will just end right here. That's where the lick wraps up. Sick. Now as for the picking on this lick, I recommend straight up alternate picking the entire thing starting with the downstroke. So it'll just be down up, down up, down up, down up, all the way through the entire lick. That'll give you the best kind of time, feel, and sound out of this. But I want to tell you something important. And you'll learn about this even more in depth if you head over to Troy Grady's YouTube channel and watch his entire series, Cracking the Code. It is without a doubt the best picking information on the internet. I swear, it's the most important stuff you can watch on YouTube if you're a guitar player. It is the religion of alternate picking. Literally reinvented my picking technique even after picking pretty decently for over a decade. I watched his stuff and learned so much, and I'm doing things I could never do before. Watch that stuff. It's free. What do you have to lose? Watch that shit. It's amazing. But anyway, here's the deal. What you'll want to do whenever you're picking this lick is to slant the pick like this. Okay? This is what Troy refers to as an upwards pick slant. What I'm talking about is, a lot of guitar players play with the pick kind of parallel to the string. So if this is the string, they're kind of like this. Many players, like myself, down slant a lot so that the pick is slanted like this. Some players upward slant, which is what I recommend for this particular lick. If you watch the Ken Susi episode I did a couple of weeks ago, I talked about a similar thing in that as well. Really handy stuff. But anyway, if you slant the pick upwards like this whenever you play it, what happens is that your downstroke goes away from the face of the guitar. In other words, away from the strings. If you have a downward slant like this, your downstroke goes into the body of the guitar and into the strings. That's fine unless you're trying to change strings after a downstroke, which, as you'll notice with this lick, down, up, down, it's time to change strings and I just did a downstroke, right? So I've got to like pull the pick out of the strings, get it under the E string to do that next upstroke. It's really cumbersome, and you end up like hopping and jumping through the strings spastically. It's really hit and miss. It's really hard to get it consistent. But look, if you simply slant the pick this way, right? I'm really exaggerating. You don't have to, damn, turn your hand out like this. Just a little tilt of the pick is all you need. Because look, and again, I'll exaggerate the movement so you can really see what I'm talking about. If you do a downstroke with the pick slanted like this, look, the pick goes away from the strings. An upstroke will go into the strings, but a downstroke goes out of the strings. So with licks like this, where the last thing you play on every string is a downstroke, it's totally important to slant the pick this way. Because look, down, up, down, I'm outside of the strings. Up, down, up, down, up, down. I'm outside of the strings again. Up, down, up, down, up, down. There you go. So again, by ending these licks on a downstroke that goes away from the strings, it's really easy to get to the next string in time, making the whole lick much easier. So again, whenever you play this, slant that pick like this, in that kind of upward slant, and begin with a downstroke and just alternate pick the shit out of it. And all of your string changes will be pretty easy as long as you pick it that way. So there you go, kids. Sexy licks, sexy guitar, sexy man. What else do you have to ask for? Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Be sure to follow my antics on Twitter and Instagram at BenEllerGuitars, where you can find very many pictures of my silly dogs and my guitars and other cool stuff. And if you're interested in snagging some one-on-one lessons with Uncle Ben, please be sure to drop me an email, BenEllerGuitars@gmail.com. We'll talk rates and times and all that stuff and try to get you a spot where I can learn you good. Thanks again so much. Thank you again to Aristides for making this incredible instrument. Absolutely ridiculous, amazing guitars. Really, really happy to be sitting here with this thing in my hands right now. Thanks again so much for watching. Stay tuned for more next week. I'll see you guys then. Take it easy.